She just said, so according to this, we are now broad. Don't hit the wrong button. And I go.
Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
You're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
Okay, that was equally awkward, but I tried that before and I'm terrible. Anyway, I'm Amy with a Y. You are listening to Secular Soup. Amy with an I isn't here this week. And so I'm in charge of the show and I don't know what I'm doing. So I've been making fun of Amy for weeks about her terrible fade in from the music, from the intro music. And I just botched it up even worse, even though I practiced it ahead of time. So anyhow, I'm Amy with a Y. If you listen to the show, you probably know who I am. And I am joined, since Amy is on vacation this week, I assume at a COVID-filled Super Bowl party in Texas, is my guess. I have a local friend and fellow podcaster, Kyle, with me, who does a Dude Bro podcast and happens to live in my shitty rural town in Minnesota. But yeah, do you want to introduce yourself and talk about your podcast that you do that's kind of like the anti-secular soup a little bit?
You know, I think we can claim like famously shitty with the news stories that we get.
Yeah. We've been national several times. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's never for anything good. You know,
No.
It's for the cousin fuckiest things that you can possibly imagine. I mean,
there's something called Brainerd diarrhea. That's a thing. Look it up.
Yeah, that is a thing. I just found out about that not too long ago.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway.
So yeah, my show Spitballing. Me and my buddy Matt Taylor. We've known each other since we were teenagers. Although Matt doesn't remember meeting me because he drank a lot then.
Didn't we all? It's Brainerd.
You know,
we all drank a lot in high school.
But yeah, we do like you said, that Dude Bro show. Where we talk about books, we talk about movies, we talk a lot about politics, being the Northwoods liberal, like gun-toting liberals.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. We just, our last show, we actually had one of my daughter's friends on, and because my daughter and her friends, I'm very proud of my kids. They're really great. My daughter, my son is not very political. My daughter is, and she's got some fucking warrior friends. Am I swearing too much? Like I don't
swear more. No, we need.
Right.
We are very on brand if we say motherfucker every other sentence. So just go for it. Yeah.
But yeah, we had her on to talk about like the Amir Locke shooting here in Minnesota. And no knock warrants. And in the same episode, we tackled Joe Rogan and his use of the N word.
Rogan.
And I've been a Rogan fan for a long, long time, but I don't really love his show, and I hated Fear Factor. His show, I've watched some episodes that I thought were really good. There was he's done some important shows. He's done a lot of good work. And I think that's lost on people. But he also approaches this shit with no sense of responsibility or anything. So I'm always trying to figure out how much responsibility does he really have? I mean, with every million viewers you get, you'd figure that would grow. Your chunk of the responsibility pie or whatever.
Because if you I feel like it depends on the size of your platform to a certain extent. Like, he's got so many viewers and people that look up to him and that take what he says seriously.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
feel like then that gives him a little bit more of a responsibility to make sure that the things he's saying are true or like just
and I
scientifically
didn't
backed, or
like
I don't
his
know.
those quacks, those InfoWars
Mhm.
doctors that showed up on his show. Everybody was mad about. Like those guys didn't even show up on my radar. Like
Mhm.
I mean, not really. I I still haven't gotten over the whole Alex Jones thing
Ugh.
because like he goes on Joe Rogan's show and he's so likable. He's just a clown.
Mhm.
And then keep in mind, like this is the same guy that spoke to like the GOP like national convention and shit,
Mhm.
and like and it advocates like violence against like trans people and gay people and stuff, and like so I've always from my macho douchebag upbringing, like I've always had a mental list of celebrities that I would like to fight. And for years and years, Alex Jones, who, yes, people have told me a million times, looks like me.
Oh my
Um,
god. I
eh,
disagree, but okay.
well, thank you. God, I
Mhm.
fucking hate that guy, and I want to kick
Ugh,
his ass so bad.
he's the worst.
Um, but like Alex Jones has been like ahead of Kid Rock and Ted
Mhm.
Nugent on that list for so long. Um, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize even some of the crazy shit that Alex Jones has said to people and
Oh, the
shit they've
Sandy Hook
advocated.
shooting stuff is just, can you imagine
Oh
being a Sandy Hook parent and having this
man,
guy out spreading that your child didn't actually die, that you're
it
making it up, that like that kind of trauma is just pain. And I think the thing that pisses me off about Alex Jones is that you don't know if he really believes his own bullshit or
yeah,
not, because I could almost find it forgivable if he believed it, but then he went to court and said, "Oh, it's just all fake. It's all a character. I just do it for," like, he had this divorce hearing with his ex-wife, and he went into it saying, "No, I should keep custody of my kids because this is a character I do, and it's all, I don't actually believe any of it." So then which one is it? Do
the
you
divorce hearing, huh? Man, if
Yeah,
a guy like Alex Jones can't make it work, is there any hope for any of us?
right? I know, and think of what a great dad he must be. I mean,
I'm sure.
they took his kids
Watch.
away, but
Oh, I was
yeah.
gonna say weirdly, he's probably like this super dad that we would all be like,
I
oh my,
know. Yeah, like, what if he's just a really great guy in real life and this is totally for
it's
money, which just makes it
it's
so much worse. I mean, I don't know, the
uh,
effect is the same either way, it doesn't really matter, but yeah. I
in case anybody saw that,
Mhm.
that was not a earthquake happening here in northern Minnesota. That was a fat guy laughing at a small table.
Oh my
So
god. So you
it's,
need to have, I have a nice setup because we don't do shows in person because Amy's in Texas. So I'm actually on a chaise lounge right now with pillows.
uh,
I've got a whole kitchen table in
fancy.
front of me, and it's like a blanket fort basically. It's wonderful. So you grew up not in the exact same town as I did, a couple towns over, but same general atmosphere. And I was gonna mention, the funny, I think something people don't realize about small towns is just how connected everybody is. Because like
Yeah.
when I met you, I'm trying to think, if we met on Facebook first, but then I ended up meeting your wife because she does, she flips furniture and stuff. Like I do that stuff, and we were opening our shop, and we wanted to have somebody come in and do some consignment stuff, and so we asked her to come in, and then I had met both of you, and then it turned out that your parents were best friends with my aunt and uncle,
Yeah.
who and
That
it's
was
this
random as
whole
hell.
like just random, I feel like that would never happen in Boston or New York or something.
Right?
Like you
Well,
would just happen to meet the kids of your aunt and uncle's best friends that you didn't know existed, but there they are,
yeah.
and it's
And
so
my
weird.
my toddler goes to speech therapy.
Mhm.
I don't think I ever told you this. So
Mm-mm.
my toddler goes to speech therapy, and his speech therapist, she pops up on what is it, My Health, the
Oh, yeah.
website and stuff we do the scheduling on,
Mhm.
and I see her last name, and I'm like, so I do a little Facebook stalking,
As you
and
do.
as I do indeed, and so she's the granddaughter of my dad and Lloyd and his brothers, like the other guy, their other
Oh my
buddy,
gosh.
like their little circle of friends, Neil Brownell,
Yeah.
who this giant guy who, like, until I was like, I don't know how old I was before, he was not the like biggest human I'd ever seen.
Mhm.
But like in that group of friends, those guys that grew up together and stuff, no, I'm like just like run into
Randomly
you and
taking
run
your
into
kid
like
to her is because that's what
it's just
happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so random. Which and it's weird. Uh, like growing up in the town that I did, like I was like I didn't have any relatives.
Mhm.
Um, so like I had to go the extra mile to not be an outsider
Oh,
because
wow.
everyone else is related, usually in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
this
Oh
area
god, I
is
had so
very
many
rural. It is
I
a
had
small community.
the weirdest one was out at the shop when I had my older shop. I was selling some furniture, oddly enough, and somebody on Facebook, I think I put some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and someone was like, "Oh, I'm helping this guy decorate his new house, and he's gonna come over and take a look at the chair and whatever." So I sent my mom a message and said, "This is the person who's coming to my shop. If I end up murdered, here's his Facebook profile." Like, this is the person, because as a woman, that's what you do. I'm going to be alone out here, and this guy's going to come show up and look at this furniture. And if I end up dead, here's who did it. But she looked at the name and she was like, "Oh my God, that must be so and so's grandson." It turned out, I swear to God, that his grandmother and my grandfather used to date before they married our respective grandmother and grandfather. So, like, they were high school sweethearts or something, and then they both married different people, and now
Uh,
this guy is randomly standing in my shop buying furniture from me because that's, it and I feel like it makes things I feel like a lot of times people in bigger cities don't understand why we don't get more vocal sometimes, or why we don't, get out into the streets more, I guess, or talk more about our politics. And it's like, because you literally never know who you're going to run into and who you're going to piss off and how that's going to affect your life in a million different ways, especially if you own a business. Like, if you own a business and people find out that you're liberal in a conservative town, it's going to be a nightmare. And, it's just small
And then
towns are
people
so
come
fucking
to
weird.
you and say things like I've heard like a dozen times, "You don't look like a liberal."
I know. See, I look like a liberal, so to be fair, anybody who looked at me would be like, "She's probably a liberal," but you do not look like a liberal. I mean, you look like a
Well,
normal, good, conservative, Bible-fearing, you know,
I,
Minnesota
I'm
guy.
like, well, I tried to grow a Jufro, and
Mhm,
like, and sweaters are not like, I'm just not a sweater
mhm.
guy.
Yeah,
So
no.
I
Yeah,
don't
my
know.
husband gets the same thing. He grew up in Little Falls, so the next town over, in a very similar he was related to half of the people in town, and every small town has a couple of those families that are notorious, and everybody knows them because they're the ones getting arrested, and they're just always in trouble, and everybody knows 2 or 3 of them, and he was related to a bunch of those people in his town. But, like, if you meet him, he doesn't look like he's wearing a flannel shirt and jeans, and, nothing about him says liberal. You would assume if you looked at him that he was, and so people treat him that way, especially at work. People will just start talking and assume that he's on the Trump train and that he's, and like that's just gotta get so awkward for,
Well,
I don't
that's where
know.
you hear a lot of ridiculous, like bigoted,
Mhm.
classist,
Oh, yeah.
racist, ridiculous shit.
Yep.
You know, like working in the like, I love the bar that up until fairly recently, up until
Mhm,
COVID,
mhm.
worked at.
Oh,
But
yeah, because my grandparents used to own that bar
yes,
back in the '60s, because this is a small town, and you worked there.
and
Anyway, continue.
I would hear shit that I'm just like, wow,
Mhm.
that's aggressive, but
But yeah, they
people throwing the N word around like
yeah.
crazy and stuff like that, which like I don't care. Like
Mhm.
you weren't gonna say that in the bar that I was working at. Like I don't care. Like I know you went like this. Like how does every black joke start?
Yeah.
like I know that you
Oh, they
looked
do
around and you don't
too.
see
They
anybody,
yeah,
but like I don't care.
yeah.
Like you don't talk
It's
like that any place that I'm working. You're
no.
out of here.
I think that's people just I think especially with men around here, there's such an assumption that you are also okay with all of the racism and the sexism. And one of my good friends, her husband, is also similarly liberal and atheist, and but works in a very guy-centered occupation and is around mechanics a lot and just hears the most horrid things, and they just assume he's like they're not going to offend him because he's one of them, and he's like, and most of the time he's a business owner and his business relies on these people calling him, and so he's kind of in this situation where it's like he can't turn around and be like, "Fuck you guys, you're wrong and here's why." And cuz it's his livelihood. Like
Yeah.
it's what he does, but I've talked to him about it and he's like the best he can do is he just stopped laughing along with them. He makes it clear that he's not in on their joke, that he just doesn't.
Which is basically the best you can do
Yeah, like
unless you
he's
just want to
he's not
stop.
going to
Yeah,
fight back
you
with
want to
them, but
pack
he's
up and
not going to
move.
be in on it. Yeah.
Um, like if I ever, in around here, like just saying something at all,
Mhm.
if I figure it's somebody like redeemable,
Mhm.
somebody that will
Yeah.
accept, what I'm saying, then maybe
Mhm.
I'm going to say something. But if I know I'm just going to start an argument with a dipshit,
Yeah.
then
And nothing's gonna change. Their mind's not
yeah,
gonna be there really are people that are redeemable and changeable and people who just are not. Like, some people are just not they have no interest in changing or learning or being different or in I don't know, I feel like I know several conservative people that I keep around because I feel like they're reasonable and respectful and they're
yeah.
not they can disagree with me and yet not call me names and not, they can still respect your view. And I think they're reachable, and yet
Well,
there are other people that are just like, okay, no.
it's important to to keep like reasonable conservative friends and stuff like that. I uh, you know uh, two things I've always I like smart people. I've always like tried to surround myself with smart people,
Mhm.
because then I didn't really gain a lot, didn't really learn a lot hanging out with stupid people.
Right.
Um,
I
Now,
can
what is
appreciate that.
smart? I've been working on that question for a really long time. Um,
Mhm.
but also, um, I try not to. And I think I've been successful at this, especially if you look at like my Facebook friends list. um, I don't like to spend too much time in my echo chamber,
Mhm.
um, and because people that agree with me on everything, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's my favorite, but you don't really,
It's not as
it doesn't really challenge
interesting.
you when you don't learn as much. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think that comes down to how you like to operate online in general. I know people who are they're happy to be in their echo chamber because they have no interest in having these big discussions and they're like, no, I'm here to enjoy myself. That's what I want to do. And then but like I enjoy having those arguments and discussions and it's something that I want to do, so I do it. My son was my 17-year-old the other day. He was like, "Mom, your problem is you like to argue with people." I'm like, "No, I do." He's like, "Yeah, you do. You read me these Facebook because I'll just be like, hey, come here. You got to hear what this dipshit wrote on Facebook, and I'll read him the entire interaction because as 17-year-olds love to hear. I'm like, and here's what I said back, and here's what he said, and he's like, Mom, when I go online, I don't do that. I just don't argue with people. I go online and I
I
enjoy
know a lot of
myself.
people don't, but and
Like,
I admit it. I like to argue,
mhm.
when it's worthwhile. Like I don't like
Yeah,
to argue with the same old people all the time. And
and
when
when
you
it's the
can when
same
you know
thing,
the next thing that they're gonna say, when you know
mhm,
what their answer is gonna be, nah,
yeah.
at that point it's useless.
I know my
I mean,
dad has yeah, he's had a hard time in recent years because he's one of 9 siblings, and several of them have gotten further and further to the right, and he keeps getting further and further to the left. I can't believe he's not a communist yet, but he'll be talking to his siblings and just be like, he's like, I don't understand what happened. None of us were raised to be hateful people. Like we weren't. My grandpa was one of the excuse me, one of the kindest people I think I ever met in my life. Just a genuinely just good to everybody all the time. But yet some of his kids are just like, I have one uncle who's just straight up right wing Trump train. He'll call my dad and say, they're coming to get your guns. And my dad's like, I don't, what are you even talking about? And he's like, I don't understand how these people that I knew, that I grew up with and that are my siblings, just all of a sudden don't think immigrants are humans and don't think that people deserve basic human rights. I don't know.
I differ like wildly from my siblings, and my brother is like very conservative, and like that, and that's led to some stuff. Not his persona online is so different than his, than how he is in real life. Because I maintain my brother is a great guy. But online, he is a ridiculous right-wing crazy douchebag. Super racist and like all this shit. And I'm like, but and honestly, my sister's pretty damn conservative too. And like really, really conservative. And she's gay. And the thing that, and I'm always I find myself, and it's not my place to, I'm probably an asshole for just thinking like this, but I'm like disappointed that like, okay, now that you can be married legally, fuck everybody else, huh?
Yeah.
Like, because I fancy myself like a civil rights voter, like, if I kind of rank, I have my issues that I vote on kind of ranked.
Yeah.
And civil rights is at the top. And like gay marriage was a big one, and I felt like that was a big deal. And like I told you, like I that like when it comes to like I never felt like my rights were worth a shit if my sister and my neighbor and all these people didn't have the same rights as me,
Yeah.
and I fought about that shit, like I fought online, I fought in the street about that shit. Like that was ugly. That's like an ugly year and a half, 2 years here in Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a brutal,
and for somebody to like kind of get their way, like, and then be just out of
and
the
then
mix,
shut the door behind them. Yeah.
Yeah. That fucking pisses me off, and I've been disappointed about that. I mean, I love my sister, and she doesn't have to, prove shit to me. She's great. But
that dynamic just fascinates me though, because my family, like my immediate family, for the most part, we all agree on everything. Like my brother and I are basically the same person, except he's far more Bernie bro than I am. I'm almost a little more centrist than he is. I think he's further socialist than I am, which is a weird dynamic. He was full on Yang Gang, so he was all about universal basic income. He was Andrew Yang lover, which is what got me thinking about it, because he would talk about it. But like my parents are both very liberal, and I know so many people, and I have so many friends who live in families where they're all kind of at odds with each other, and it's got to be hard to deal with. I don't know. Seems like it'd be a lot of awkward Thanksgiving dinners. And
well, I think a lot of people, like when we all get together, we just don't have those conversations.
Yeah, just don't talk
which
about
it's
it.
too bad that we can't.
Yeah,
but we don't get together enough
to make it worth.
Yeah, I don't need any of that shit over Christmas dinner and stuff. So it's I'm okay with all that, because I'm probably not going to change anything, the way they do their shit anyway.
Yeah.
And they didn't have like for to become a a progressive in this area, like things kind of need to align right, like you need to go away to school, or you need to be exposed to some really like some cool people, like when you're growing up and stuff. Like at least like those are the things that contributed, like to
Right.
to me getting there. because I like my best friend growing up, his family, they were cool. Like his dad was this old hippie, that got out of the Air Force and then was like protesting
Oh,
and
wow.
and and just like and so I grew up around these like these free thinking this
Mhm.
like and it was crazy for me because my dad, like those guys grew up on the farm and shit, and
Yeah.
like, and then it was the army and like the Wadena Silo Company and all this
Mhm.
shit, like these were just like you know hardworking like redneck dudes,
Yeah.
and so like I'd go over to my buddy Nathan's house and stuff, and these people were aliens to me, and they were really intriguing, but they were awesome,
Yeah.
and thank God I was exposed to those people.
See, I always secretly think
Thank God they exposed themselves.
I hope that I am exposing myself to my children's friends that way. That's a really good audio clip that somebody could pull out. I'm giving that as a gift. I back
Absolutely.
back when my children had friends in person, yeah, I would always think I'm like, "Oh, maybe I can be a good influence on this kid who's going home to, like, a totally just rednecky, mean family that's just" I don't know. My son had one friend who he hasn't seen in years, but when they were little kids, they were really good friends, and he was just the sweetest little boy. I just loved him so much. He was so nice. And my son has told me recently, he's like, "Oh, yeah, every time I went over there and stayed overnight, like, his parents would yell at him for just" he's like, "One time I did something wrong, like, I stepped on something or broke something, and they yelled at him for it." And he's like, and now that they've both kinda grown up, and he's like, "Yeah, now that kid is all about being a tough guy and just full on
Oh, kids still do that shit.
military and just trying" like, it's depressing because you don't know if that's the person he really wants to be or if that's the person he has to be to please his parents or, like, either way, it's just depressing that I guess more people don't kinda just let their kids be who they're gonna be, and I don't know.
I had some weird ideas about about like who I wanted my son to be like
Mhm.
before he was real.
Yeah,
I always
as we
thought
all
I was
do, I think, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm,
I wanted him to play football. I wanted him to be like I just wanted him to be I had these macho stupid ideas
mhm,
about like what I wanted my son to be.
yeah,
And then once he was excuse me.
mhm,
And then once he was real, then I'm like I just want you to be happy,
yeah,
like I just want you to be yourself and be happy and shit. And consequently,
mhm,
he turned out to be a fantastic human being.
yeah.
Um, in my opinion, I'm sure I'm probably the only parent that
You're a
thinks that
biased
of his kid,
source, I mean,
but maybe. Um, but uh,
yeah, I can't
but yeah,
imagine not wanting your kids to just be who they are, like, seeing other parents kinda live vicariously through their kids and force them into things they don't like, we have some of our neighbors are big time they're a big time hockey family, and so the kids are all about hockey, and yet, whenever these kids would be over at my house, you would never hear any of them talking about how much they liked the sports they were in. They always looked really sad. Like, it was just kind of one of those things where you sensed they weren't doing it because they wanted to be doing it. They were doing it because dad said they were going to do it,
yeah,
and
you've got to I mean, you can start out like that, I guess.
yeah.
Like I started out like that for sure.
Mhm.
I definitely did. But then, you have to grow and change your game up. Like I recognized that with my daughter, I was always like, I'd tell the family and stuff like that. I'd tell people it's great. We know she's cute, but let's not
Mhm.
focus on that. Can you tell her she's smart? Can you
Yeah.
tell her let's not just focus on, how cute she is and stuff like
Mhm.
that, like because I didn't want her to
Right.
pigeonhole into all this gender role bullshit. At
Yeah.
the same time, I'm telling my son to man up, toughen
Yeah.
up, like be it, and man, when I figured that shit out, I'm like, holy shit, I have been doing you a disservice,
Yeah.
and
It's
you
hard
know,
to it's hard to break away from the way that you were raised or that we were raised ourselves and to try to, I don't know, find most people just kinda end up parenting the way their parents did for better or worse. Like you know,
Oh,
you see how
it's
your
kind of
parents
lazy.
do it, and it is very lazy, but it's very human. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
that's the way I saw to do it, and so I remember before I had kids, I was such a good parent. Like I was going to be strict, and I
Oh
was going
man.
to be they were
Before
going to
you
be
have kids, you got
well
it all figured out. That's
behaved.
why they give such good advice. People
Oh
with no
yeah.
kids.
I remember my brother before he had kids, and I'd be telling him about some thing horrible going on with my children or just something that was driving me nuts, and he'd be like, "Well, if you just wouldn't let them do this thing, then they wouldn't do that anymore." And I'd be like, "Okay, sure, let's." And then he ended up with twin girls, just like right off the bat, they just said it's twins and they're little girls. And I mean, I got to give it to him. He is such he's a higher achiever than I am when it comes to parenting by a lot. Like he gets up every Sunday morning and makes crepes from scratch for his children every morning. I mean, he gets up every single morning and makes them a breakfast from scratch. But every Sunday it's crepes, and they're delicious, and they're better than any that I will ever make. And like he and his wife are just I don't know. Their kids are always doing something interesting and enriching and engaging, and like they're always having conversations with them, and they go to a fancy charter school in St. Paul where they're 8 now and they know all of the continents in Africa, and they know just like all this stuff that's I can't live up to that. He's just a much better parent than I am, and I've decided to just lean into the way I parent because I don't know. It seems to be okay so far. They're happy enough. I don't know. All you really want is for them to figure out what they like in life.
And not
And
torture small animals to death.
oh yeah, I mean, I watch for the signs of serial killers because I am
Well,
big into serial
you're a
killer
crime
stuff.
you're a crime
Oh
junkie.
yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
all
true
over the
crime junkie.
crimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, torturing small animals, bedwetting, and what was the third one? I don't my husband just kind of got into true crime very recently, like in the last 2 months or something. And so he'll be yelling these things that he's watching on YouTube from the other room and just be like, "Oh my god, did you know?" I'm like, "Yes, I knew." "Oh my god, did you know that BTK did?" Yeah, I knew all of that.
We
Yes.
just watched some stuff last night.
Really?
Actually, one of the things we watched last night
Mhm.
was about BTK.
Yeah.
And then we watched another one, and it was a two-parter. I can't remember what the show was, but it was a two-parter about an investigation in Toronto,
Mhm.
in Toronto's gay village. I don't know if they actually call it that.
Hmm.
I heard it
Okay.
called that on there. Whatever.
Mhm.
Anyway, there was particularly like darker skinned and darker eyed gay men disappearing. And the first guy that they looked at, like this detective had got a call from a detective in Switzerland who thought who thought she was dealing with a cannibal in Toronto.
Ooh.
So it was pretty interesting. So anyway,
Yeah.
spoiler alert. um,
Anybody
this
who's
is a
listening
case.
has seen it already. It's
Like,
fine.
probably.
Mhm.
But this was resolved in like 2019. Anyway, the first guy that they were after, like because I mean they did delve into like this website
Mhm.
where cannibals would like meet and talk about like
Yikes.
killing people and eating people and shit. And then people that wanted to be eaten when they died would get a hold of people there and stuff like that. Like
Mm,
whatever.
okay.
Um, yeah, probably. Those I
I don't
can't
give a
judge.
shit. I'll be dead. Do
Those
whatever you want with me.
right. And besides, like I can't say shit. Like how do I know that those people that want to be eaten aren't delicious? They
True.
might be.
With the right
Um,
sauce,
yeah,
I
shit,
mean,
Um,
mhm.
maybe they're vegan, they're like free range. Um, probably very healthy.
Yeah.
And so like when it turned out that the guy that they were looking at, who they did get on like child pornography charges and stuff
Mhm.
like that, but he wasn't a cannibal,
Mhm.
they start looking at this other guy, and I'm just like, this is still really good, and it's interesting. But I was so disappointed that there was no cannibalism.
Did you
Like,
ever So it's not cannibal related, but did you ever watch Don't Fuck with Cats on Netflix when that came
For
out?
sure.
Oh,
Yeah, how could I
so
not? Like,
good. I had so many
social media
friends
was
who
on
would
fire with
not
that
watch
shit.
it because I have a lot of friends who are just big time animal lovers and were like, no, if they show any animal cruelty, I cannot watch it. I will start sobbing. And I'm like, okay, fine, but you're missing a really good show. It's like they're not gonna show you dead cats. There's no dead cats in it. I don't think. Maybe there was like a split
I
second
think
of
there
it.
was one.
There was one. It was very, and you knew it was coming, and like you
Yeah.
could have avert your eyes, but fuck, that was one of the best ones I've ever seen just for the pacing and the
Yeah. Well, they
holy
kept it really
shit
like,
factor and like
yeah. Well, it was fast moving, which is when I'm
yeah.
watching that stuff, I kind of need that,
Yeah.
because some of
You
them
don't want
are
it to
not
get
so fast
boring.
moving.
Yeah, you
And
gotta I've been trying to get everybody to read The Man from the Train, which is the most fucked up serial killing true crime book I think I've ever read about this serial killer who operated in the 1900s in America. And like this was a like there was a serial killer who's never been found and
okay.
but this so the author of it is the guy who wrote Moneyball apparently,
Mhm.
which I never read. I just had heard of because they made a movie out of it. But so he's like a sports statistician type guy, but he started doing research on this serial killer who would literally go around the country and just murder entire families, the whole family. Like if he went to your house, your entire family died, and they were all axe murders. He like,
Oh my.
oh yeah, but
I
they
don't know
were,
why that makes it worse. Like if you're fucking
isn't
murder a whole
it? Like
family,
it's
murder a whole family, but
terrible. But so this guy went and dug back and found all these cases and connected them all by certain things that happened. And it would always happen near, like within a certain distance of a train station in a small town. And it was back before they had, the kind of technology to be able to talk, small towns to talk to each other about it, to say this thing
yeah.
happened here and this. So this guy
Yeah,
was able to operate for years and they found so many cases that they connected him to that they think he was behind. And so this book is all just telling all of these stories and it's just one after another after another after another and they're all the exact same MO and done the exact same way and just like like if that happened now it wouldn't continue because people would hear about, oh my god,
yeah.
an entire family was murdered, what? And then people would pay it. This was just several families around the country just murdered, but nobody ever really had a way to connect them. There wasn't.
To this day, the
It's
most
just, oh,
disturbing true
it's so
crime shit that I
creepy.
ever read was it was on I don't even remember what the website was, but I read about Albert Fish.
Oh God.
Um,
Oof. Yeah,
and man,
that one's
like
fucked
so
up.
well, and I was intrigued, and it was super interesting. But I'm like reading like the letters and stuff that he would
Oh
write to
God.
the families and
Once
shit.
they get to the letters.
And man, I was like, I need to take a break and go. Like
Oh yeah.
I was at work. I took a I was
Yeah.
time well spent, and I took a break and drove around just to
Yeah.
like get the like clear my
Just
head a
just
little bit.
knowing that that person was a human on the planet that did those things is
Well, the
just
horrific shit, like, and he was so pleased
oh
with himself, like
yeah,
how
and
he
he was
tortured his
so
kids and then ate
descriptive
them and
about
shit.
it. Just like
Yeah, and
oh.
and then and that's where I learned about like his time, like he was like a merchant seaman and stuff,
Mhm.
and like and I learned about like cannibalism like during famines and stuff in
Mhm.
China and how you could like buy like human meat in markets and stuff
Ooh, I've been
and
looking for a new side hustle. Maybe we could bring
you
that
know
back.
and but like that shit, like I was like, holy shit, this guy was fucking
Mhm.
like talk about a fucking monster. I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is a monster by any fucking definition,
Yeah. Well,
like
and this I'm reading this, well, I was listening to the audiobook just like, "Oh my god, please tell me they have a suspect because I cannot get to the end of this book and just have it be, no one knows, like, we have no idea, this person just disappeared and they killed all of," and at the end, they do have a pretty good suspect that they think it was, that they make a good case for thinking it was that person, and but it's just mind-blowing how, like, in every instance, and these were usually bigger families because it's the early 1900s and living on farms, and he would go into a house in the middle of the night, kill the parents, usually beat the husband to death first, because of course you would, and then usually killed the wife and all of the kids with one blow to the head, didn't just killed them. And there was always one younger girl in the family who they suspected he waited longer to kill. And they kind of imply that maybe he was doing something with these younger girls, but the forensics at the time, and there's one where they found some bacon that had been like in the larder or something, and apparently this guy had used the bacon to masturbate because they found his semen on the bacon on the floor next to the like, just, and to hear the way that they were recording it in the early 1900s and trying to talk around what they were actually talking about is just, but yeah, he would always cover
Note to
every
self.
mirror. Yeah, don't jerk off with bacon. That's just gross. I mean,
I love bacon, but I
he
don't like love
he
bacon.
worked with what he had. I mean, he went to the house. He always used their axe. He always went there and used, like, he didn't bring it with him. He always locked all the doors behind him. He always left a, lamp thing in a certain, like, it's just the creepiest fucking shit. And I was listening to, there's a podcast called Morbid, and they did an episode on that series, or they did one on the Vasilla axe murders, because the Vasilla axe murders were in Iowa. And so that one's kind of a famous story. And so the author thinks that was one of them in a series of broader murders. So there were like a whole bunch. It's, yeah, anyway, Man from the Train. I keep telling everyone, somebody needs to read it so I can geek out about it with somebody else. It's just fucked up. But yeah, true crime. My son actually, oh my God, my 12-year-old. So I was watching Ray Donovan today. And my younger son is very sensitive about violence and just anything sad, really. He doesn't want that stuff in his head. He's got anxiety, and like he'll get images in his head and he can't get them out, and he just wants nothing to do with it. So if he walks in and I'm watching something on TV that is disturbing in any way, he'll turn around and walk out of the room, or he'll just be like, turn that off, I don't want to see it. And even just stuff like, people yelling at each other, or just anybody being cruel to somebody else, and like not violent, gory stuff, but just shitty situations. So today he walked into a scene of Ray Donovan where a guy was holding a woman at gunpoint and screaming at her, and and he just like turned around and walked back to his room. And then he came back out and he's like, you know what, Mom? I'm really disappointed in you when I see that stuff. I'm like, okay. And he's like, because it hurts my heart when I see that. And it really disappoints me that you enjoy it. What? And I'm just, okay. And then he went back to his room, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, holy shit, I thought of the perfect response. So then I had to go back into his room, and I'm like, okay, listen, you know how you like to play video games where you shoot at people? Yeah, but it's totally fake, and that's why you enjoy it, because you would never do that to somebody, but you can enjoy it in your fantasy world because it's a game you're playing and you're not actually trying to hurt anybody. And he's like, yeah. I said, it's the same thing. I find it interesting because I would never do that to somebody. So it interests me what people's minds must be thinking when they do bad things. But I was just like, listen, you like to shoot people. And he asked my mom what her favorite gun was one day in the car. Like, come on. She's like, your son asked me in the car what my favorite gun was, and I don't know what to do with that information. I'm like, yes, I'm a lax parent. I know, I get it. It's fine. We were talking about Discord, and I didn't realize Discord was such a fucking cesspool. So I've been letting my 12-year-old be on Discord, and apparently you're not supposed to do that.
Oh man,
I
I
mean,
the whole gaming thing, like my son was always like a really chill child,
mhm,
like, and he didn't swear much, and not excitable at all,
mhm.
like just super chill. Um, and like I would hear him losing his fucking mind in his room, saying hateful shit,
Oh my
screaming at people and shit. And I'm like, I open up the door and I'm like, playing Call of Duty, aren't you? Like, and fuck, the whole fucking gaming world is ridiculous. And he's still like that, he's still
Mhm.
really chill and shit like that. So, I mean, it doesn't carry beyond,
Yeah, no.
like, but they're different people when they're
Mhm.
plugged in like that.
Well, and I think it's Discord especially is apparently not regulated well at all, and so it's ripe for predators to be all over the place and just bullies, and nobody's watching.
Mm,
But you
yeah,
can
we've got
have
like
like
10 Discord friends, and I know them all in person. They're
yeah.
all just my old D&D buddies and shit.
Well, you can have private Discord servers. So if you're on a private Discord server, then it's just these certain people. And I'm trying to figure out why we don't provide that. Like, I found out that there are liberal towns in America where the library actually monitors Discord servers for kids so they can game online and have adults monitoring it. Like, why aren't we doing that everywhere? How is that not a thing where you can sign your kid up to play games in this Discord server that you know has a responsible adult monitoring it because it's provided through public works of some kind? Like, most parents aren't going to I'm never going to learn how to play video games the way my kids I'm just never gonna. I'm never gonna understand Discord the way they understand it. So I can't be
Even if I
there.
play a video game now, it's like a 10 or it's like a 10-year-old like strategy game that
Yeah.
I,
Oh,
and
I
because
have
it
no
needs to be
clue.
shit that I can like walk away from.
Mhm.
And it like, and as much as like, because games are awesome now, like
Mhm.
if you would have told me like 20 years ago that graphics would be so good and everything, and I would have zero interest, I would have been like, yeah, fucking right.
Yeah.
But no,
Well, and
I
just
don't.
even virtual reality. Oh my god. We bought an Oculus Quest and it's the craziest. Just where virtual reality's gotten is insane, but it's like, how do we not have more? I don't know. It seems like that's something the library is being used less frequently. Let's put that to work in a way where we can help parents whose kids are gonna wanna be on games. Like, you can't just not you can, but then you're a dick. You can't just be like, "No, you can't play any video games ever.
That
Sorry."
saddens me because like trips to the library used to be a big
Mhm.
deal when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
Oh, yeah. Especially in the
Before we
really
had a
cool
million
library we
streaming
had.
services and shit, like,
Well, and they
I
try
had
like,
books.
they do have there is some great like, they rent out, different toys and games and science and robotics and stuff. They'll rent those out. Like, they have these little Sphero robot things that you program, and you can rent them from the library, which is awesome that they've gotten into that because it's a way you can when your, like, 9-year-old is like, "I want that really expensive robotic thing," that they're gonna lose interest in 1 week. You can literally go to the library, check it out, they can fuck around with it, get bored with it, and you bring it back. It's genius. Like, why don't and in the cities where my brother lives in liberal utopia, there's just tons of toys that they check out. Every time I would go to his house, there'd be like, "Oh, we got that from the library," an entire set of dolls and doll houses and they'd bring it back and fuck yeah, we need more of that.
Indeed,
And
indeed.
my son he liked going to the library. We have a decent library here, but thanks to COVID, we can't go anywhere now.
Word.
So I'm so tired of being angry at people all the time. It's
Man, I'm I'm telling you though, I I was thinking about like how the more of a like the more I sequester myself,
mhm.
um, the less I want to go do shit. Like I messaged you the other day and
Mhm.
I was like that extrovert shit will resume at a time yet to be determined.
Yeah.
because I used to be like, I mean, I, I don't know. Everything has changed.
Mhm.
And people like, especially like, well, like girls that I was dating and stuff before I was married, hopefully before I was married, um, would, we're always like, oh, you need all the people and the drugs
Mhm.
and the music and stuff like that. You know, turns out I didn't need the people and the music, but, but, I, but now I'm just like even if I make plans, I got to like drag
Mhm.
myself, even if I know damn well that I'm actually going to enjoy myself,
Mhm.
when I'm out, I it's the last goddamn thing I want to do,
I wonder if that's because I mean, my husband's he would just never leave the house if it were up to him. He does not give a shit. Like when we met, we had the cool house where everybody would come over and we'd all hang out before we had kids and drink and socialize and like, yeah, we were fun. We had children and then years went by and now it's just like, nah, he's good. Just stay, just watch. He doesn't, all those friends that were there before, like, he's like, all they want to do is go to the bar and drink and I don't want to do that. So, like, but he's perfectly happy that way. And I'm just the opposite. Like, I need friends around and I need to go socialize with them. And when it's cold out, I like just staying at home and not going anywhere. But at the same time, like, God, I have friends that we used to go out to dinner at least twice a month, and I haven't been to a restaurant in over a year. And it's depressing to me that an entire section of society, mainly immune compromised people, have just been totally disregarded. Like, well, fuck you. Sorry your immune system's bad, but the rest of us are probably going to be fine. So, and I don't know. I feel like at least with the flu, it does kill people and it would kill people. And by and large, those people were at the end of their natural life. I hate to say it that way, but it was a lot of times in
Shit.
care facilities. And it was people, all right, like I'm 44 and people my age are dying because of this and leaving kids behind who now don't have a parent. And there's so much of that happening. And yet the rest of society is just like, well, I mean, but I'll probably be fine. So
Well, I didn't
if
really
you're
need
if you're
another thing that
scared,
would
stay
kill
at
me at my
home.
age,
Yeah. It's
right? Uh,
that kills me. Like you don't have to be as scared as I am because I am more likely to die if I get it, whereas you're more likely to
People
get a
just don't
bad
give a fuck.
cough. And like
Yeah.
even if you say to them, I've started thinking I should just start telling people I have cancer. See what they say. Just be like, yeah, I have cancer. I mean, technically I had a skin cancer and they removed it, so I could get away with just being like, hey, you need to put a mask on. I have cancer. But I feel like even then people would be like, nah, fuck you. You can't tell me what to
Well,
do.
I I I occasionally I have like kind of I have got out of my way to like make sure people didn't say shit that would make me furious. Because I've got like uh, uh, like Bear, he's got that autoimmune thing,
Hmm.
and like and it's kind of I felt like I was ambushing people with that,
Hmm.
when I'd be like, well, here's the deal, it's not necessarily me,
Hmm.
but like I've got a baby at home with an
Yeah.
autoimmune condition,
Hmm.
so careful what you fucking say, you
Yeah.
know, and but but I don't know. I think that's the kind of interaction that's the kind of shit that like makes it that much easier for me to stay
Stay
home and be
home.
a
Oh
fucking
yeah.
hermit,
I keep thinking, I haven't been at work in 2 months. We close the shop in the winter for a little bit all the time, but I'm gonna have to go back in March. And I'm dreading it because by the end of December, I was so angry every single day. Like by the end of the day, I was just furious because I had spent the entire day watching people walk into my store, read a sign that said there's an immune suppressed person in here, please put a mask on, and just fucking ignore it and keep walking.
Right fucking past it.
Right, with me, I'm the person with the immune disorder. You're looking at me, and you kept walking. And I would watch that play out all day, and I was just like, I can't be this mad all the time. And now I'm just like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go right back to doing the same thing because people don't give a shit. And even if you tell them I'm at higher risk, sorry, sucks to be you. I mean,
I thought many times about like taking my skill set like on the road. I mean, not necessarily on the road, but just being like, look,
you could be our
like
bouncer.
now, well, that's what I feel like every goddamn business
Oh yeah,
needs a bouncer now,
I agree.
and like, I mean, I would, I would fucking, like, of course, not every place can pay you like,
Right.
like a busy bar can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not every place is going to be as big a pain in the ass. You're still going to have to deal with assholes, but at least they'd be sober assholes.
Yeah.
And as long as you're like, really, really comfortable with, confrontation, and I mean, I don't mean fucking snatching people up and throwing them the fuck out. Like,
well, no, but
I mean,
like just standing up to them, not having
Yeah.
to be the business owner that has to back down because you're afraid of losing their business, especially
Yeah.
a small business in a small town
right?
where word
Like
gets around. And
it's nice to be able to say like, yeah, like, I'm doing my job, like, and I'm not going to do anything to fucking placate you. If you want to call the owner, like, by all means,
Yeah.
then let them be the nice guy. But
Mhm.
like, being the heavy is, what a bouncer does,
like from the beginning, I thought that the government should have required, this is very anti-free market of me, but the government should have required that corporations of a large enough size hired security. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
Menards
think the
did.
Walmarts and the Menards, and I think all of those companies should have been forced to hire security to
And see,
enforce
I think
masking.
I think they did it on their own, because like uniform security, was present at both like Menards and Walmart.
Oh, wow.
But those were the only two places that I ever saw them.
Yeah. See, that's well,
Um,
because nobody's gonna do it if it costs them money and they don't have to, which is where the government needs to come in and be like, "Fuck you, you have enough money, you need to hire these people." And their sole job, their only job is to enforce masking, to just tell people to put like I know that's a dream that will never ever happen because this is America. But it's just, oh, it's so fucking frustrating. My husband he finally put up a sign, because he works in the same location I do, but not, it's two different buildings, it's a whole thing. And he doesn't see a lot of customers every day. He only sees a couple. He's out there working on his art projects, but he put up a sign on the door that said masks required, vaccinated or not, because so many people walk in and go, well, I'm vaccinated, so I don't need one. But he put up a sign and he said that people will come in, and if they won't put the mask on, he'll just usually look at them and say, got a wife with an immune disorder, don't want to be a single dad. Like, he'd say something about, don't want to raise my kids alone, and that would usually do it. But he said if that didn't do it, what he would tell them is, listen, if I get sick, I have no income because this is the only thing I do. And then everybody's like, oh, yeah, okay, you're right. Like,
Me?
the
Yeah.
financial thing got to them more than the actual human. Like, my wife could die, or I could be living off the government teat if you don't put your mask on.
The people that were so willing to like lie about being vaccinated and stuff, I saw a lot of that shit online. Like, just say that you are, that shit. Like, and I wrote about it a couple of times, but I don't know if anyone found it impactful, because for me, I was like, wait a fucking minute, like you place so fucking like little value on the truth and integrity in your personal fucking integrity that you would rather like just tell a fucking bald-faced lie than go through the inconvenience of putting a fucking mask on. Like, damn, that makes you kind of a piece of shit,
That is a level of
because
selfish that only America can
and just
really.
like if when the truth doesn't fucking matter to you at all, like, one, I bet I can guess the way you vote, and two, I fucking like you're just lying to somebody's fucking face. Ugh, like
Well,
that
because
shit.
they
Like,
think the lie doesn't mean anything. They they think I don't know. I would get so
No feelings,
frustrated with
no
people that
comment.
I know were vaccinated, and I'm like, yeah, you did get but you still need to guidance changes and oh, really? Like I just wanted to scream, read the fucking news. Oh my God, things change. We're in a pandemic. We had one guy come into the
Uh,
store, really old guy who'd been a customer forever, like nicest guy, would come in regularly, and just really kind of in the thick of it, he walked in and we had the mask. He's like, "Oh, you want me to wear a mask?" And my mom, being the kind person that she is, she's like, "Well, you're vaccinated, right?" And he said, "No." And she's like, "Oh, then yeah, if you could put a mask on." But we were both just like our jaws fell to the floor when he just went, "No." Because he's like 90 and how are you not vaccinated? We were expecting him to say, "Yeah, I'm vaccinated." Nope, just and no like sense of anything about it, just
I didn't think it was weird.
didn't do that. I don't. I mean, why would I have gotten a vaccination for a deadly virus that's engulfing the nation? I don't.
Well,
Oh God.
but 90, yeah, like how, you can't be afraid of the vaccine because what if it does kill you?
I
Ain't
know,
shit
right?
killed you. You're
Yeah.
90. Nothing can kill you, obviously.
I mean, I suppose, or you're 90
Except
and you
this fucking
think, I don't
disease.
want to get a shot in the arm and I'm going to die soon anyway. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I can respect that. I don't know. God.
And if I mean, I'm 48 right now. If being 90, like if growing older is like proportionately worse,
Hmm.
then at 90, I'm probably gonna be like, fucking
Oh
take me.
yeah, no.
God
I do
damn.
not want to live to 90. There is no way.
Oh,
I'm
that's
I'm
fucking old.
thinking 75 might be good enough for me. Like my body's going to give out sooner than most. So I'm just
I
like,
was really surprised that my dad made it
you
into his
know,
80s, and I'm like, well,
yeah.
if I make it that long, whew,
Yeah, I
boy,
don't know. I come from a family of people who die in their 60s. So we'll see. I don't know. But I'm so angry that maybe I'll live forever. I feel like if you can feed on anger,
it seems to work.
oh, it
Like
really
anger and
does.
spite is like what keeps
Hmm.
people fucking alive.
It's true. All those happy, perky people die sooner. So,
Mm.
yeah. Anyway, so we never actually made it to universal basic income. And it's been about an hour.
Well,
So,
when you found out that I know nothing about it, I
I
just am
mean,
intrigued
but
by
that's
the
good. I
idea,
was just going to convince you because, well, here's the argument in a nutshell. We can afford it. We have enough rich fuckers. We can afford to keep people on a very basic subsistence level, just like when we got our, stimulus checks. And we can afford to send people those stimulus checks every month so that they can afford a basic subsistence living that will require them not to have to work if they
No, do
choose
you
not
get it whether
to.
you need it or not?
Yes, which I think is part of the key to doing it because with any government program, when you require only certain incomes to do it, you add an entire another level of bureaucracy and paperwork to it where people now
Sure.
have to start proving they deserve it or need it, which means you have to employ people to decide who deserves it and needs. It's actually cheaper to just fucking send it to everybody. Everybody's at the same level. And most people, I think we agree that most people want more than a basic, like,
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
basic standard of living. Like, you want more than just a place to live and adequate food. And people want a TV and a PlayStation and a car. And people are willing to work to meet those goals and to have those better things, but they shouldn't have to work just to stay alive and not live under a bridge and eat. And we're the wealthiest country in the fact that we have people like Jeff Bezos living and that fucker can I just it's criminal that so many people have to work so hard just to keep a house and especially when they're sick and they get no health care. Yeah, and imagine if people worked because they wanted to and they were trying to achieve a goal and they had a reason to go to work that wasn't just I don't want to fucking die, but was I want to reach this goal or I enjoy what I'm doing or I'm not afraid to get fired now because I won't be thrust into poverty so I can take a better job, or I can pursue something that I'm actually good at and interested in, or I can do volunteer work because I don't need that extra money. So I will
Well,
go volunteer to make the
yeah.
world better.
And you
Like,
never know what people are capable of.
yeah,
Because like think
definitely.
about, and I've got this thing that I fucking rant to myself in my head about this all the time. So I used to work for one of these guys, and we just had a guy that acted like this as a president.
Mhm.
So like a whole like I'm a self-made man. I'm a self-made
Whatever.
man,
Mhm.
and I'm like, motherfucker, your daddy funded every fucking failed enterprise that you
Mhm.
fucking like engaged in forever. There was never any fucking risk.
No.
And when I hear somebody like that talking like they're like a self-made man, like they put their shit out there and just pull themselves up by the bootstraps, and I'm like, you were fucking like you come from rich people, and
Mhm.
rich people funded your fucking your shit.
Yeah.
So like congratulations on
Rich
your
people stay
success,
rich.
but like yeah, and like if you didn't have and you don't know what like these people might be capable of, they
Mhm.
might be a great entrepreneur and shit. Like they might have a great
They might
idea,
be an
they might have a plan,
artist. They might
and
be an
like it
artist,
yeah, and
that
this
could
shit
put
might work
something
for
good
them
out into the world.
if they didn't have to worry about sleeping under about feeding themselves and
Yeah.
sleeping under a fucking bridge. You don't
Yep.
know what they might be capable of doing,
Yeah.
and it might
And
be a game changer worldwide.
oh yeah. And I just get angry, with those people who are just, I had to work hard and I'm self-made and I built this business. So what you cannot convince me ever
Oh, and
that
some
a
of those
job.
people exist,
Yeah, well,
I guess.
but even those people, whatever it is they did, however hard they worked, they are not working any harder than somebody cleaning toilets for 3 shifts a week, scrubbing floors. Like, there are plenty of people who work really fucking hard for 0 money. And
And
just
besides,
because you were able to sit behind a desk and had a good idea and you were smart and you were able to invest and that all worked out for you, that doesn't mean that you're a harder working person than the person who has to take 3 jobs and
and what is it about somebody not having to work as hard as you that pisses people like that
right.
off?
That's what I
Like,
don't get too,
is that like I I don't. Nobody
we all
needs to
have to
fucking
suffer. I had to suffer, so
yeah.
everybody should have to suffer. There's so many
That's a very
people with that
small fucking way to
mindset.
think. Like that
Yeah.
shit. Like it's kind of creepy, really.
Well, and I feel like there's a lot of, and maybe I'm just, this seems like a generational thing, but like the generation before us, I feel like kind of had this mindset of, well, it was hard for us, so it should be hard for you too. And it's kinda like, but should it? Is it like, are things being hard, is that a good thing on its own, really? Like, why do we want things to be hard for people?
No,
I don't know. I
I
don't
get,
get it.
but I think like I'm one of those. Like I get caught up in a little bit of that too,
Mhm,
where I think, like a certain level of adversity is
mhm.
for like sometimes like I'll be talking to my stepson or something, and I'm like, man, I really want to fucking drop you off in the middle of the fuck like the Congo right now.
Yeah,
And then you can come back and tell me about all the fucking problems that with your life,
mhm.
and shit like that. But I think that's a kind of a
And you
normal
can get
adage.
perspective from that. Yeah, I feel like my kids will never understand some of the poverty I lived around as a kid, and not even that I was in, but just some of my relatives, just the way that they lived, and I had relatives with no indoor plumbing and just like I grew up around that and that was normal. They have no concept. They've lived in like a 5-bedroom house their whole life and they've never wanted for anything. And like we're not rich, but they're pretty comfortable children. And so part of me feels like, how do you get that empathy then where you can relate to people not having, and I make a conscious
Right.
effort to talk about it with my kids just so that, I try to make them aware of how comfortable their life is and how lucky they are to be in that position. And but I don't know, it's weird to me to think that like hopefully they'll never have to experience that. I don't know. Parenting's fucking
Agreed.
hard, man. Anyway,
Oh, it is so fucking hard.
I can't.
I
Yeah.
and and then look at like me starting over.
Oh God,
Bunch of grown ass kids, and
I
now
get
I talk.
exhausted just thinking about you. I can't even. the thought of having a baby right now. I enjoy sleeping too much. I can't do it.
Well, that whole my prepper thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always had a bit of that like prepper mentality and shit. But once my kids like got to be adults, like really functional adults, I was like, whew, I don't have to worry as much about them.
Yeah.
So what do? Get a baby,
Yep.
And so now I'm like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Like, how am I going to make sure this baby not only survives but thrives and can be happy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I think
man.
that's so much of just, I don't know, so much of my anger about COVID too is like, I'm not afraid to die. I'm an atheist. I don't have a fear of the afterlife. I'm truly not afraid of dying. But I constantly think about the fact that I have kids who aren't grown yet, and they would have to go through the rest of their lives without a mom. And that's what pisses me off. Like, I feel like I lost my fear of death when I was 19-ish. I don't know. About the time I started getting really sick and realizing just how shitty life can be. But I have no fear of an afterlife. I'm really not afraid of death. But yeah, the thought of my kids losing their mom because of a bunch of selfish assholes who couldn't put on a mask at Menards, that really pisses me off. Anyway, so I'll be raging for the next, I don't know. I actually Googled today, will COVID ever end? I did not get the answer I wanted. So
Yeah.
Anyway. So Kyle, you know what we need to do real quick, because I forget to do this literally every episode, is I have to shout out our patrons.
Oh, yes.
Because we do have people who give us money, oddly enough. I have not figured out why yet, because I would not give us money. But we have a Patreon account at patreon.com/secularsoup. You can go and sign up to be a patron. You'll get bonus content on all of the episodes, and some bonus episodes and some other free shit. I don't know. It's winter. My brain doesn't work. We had a new patron this week, Jason, who is at the $1 tomato soup level. Thank you so much. We noticed because I checked my fucking email for once. So I'm really proud of myself for that. So thank you, Jason. And then if you pledge at the $6.66 a month level, I'm always proud of myself for saying that correctly. You will get a shout out every week. So I need to I'm staring at Patreon, which is the worst fucking website. I just need to filter this very quickly because I always forget to do it. Okay, so our 666 and above patrons are Don Ford, voice of fantasy and adventure; Aaron, my real life friend who was just here yesterday; Lois, a noble spirit embiggens the smallest man, a perfectly cromulent statement. God damn it, Freethinker 215. Renee, April, New Year, new patron, same great karaoke legend, Paul, Sarah, Randall, Life in the Left Lane podcast, Yesh, Natalie, Wendy, Nuggin, Andy, and pick a random number, Kyle. Just any number.
42.
Our 42nd favorite Rich. You're welcome. Yeah, we have two Riches. One's our favorite and the other one is not. So the other one is now our 42nd favorite Rich for this week. So blame Kyle, Rich. Fuck you. That's it. We will see you next week. We'll have to have you back on again, Kyle. Amy's going to be gone for like another week, so I don't know. Maybe we can sneak you back on. We'll see.
Spitballingpodcast.com.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
Plug your podcast. See me rant and rave and cuss and say stupid shit.
Thank you. Yeah, most people Everybody we have on are other podcasters, and I'm always like, plug your show, and then I forget. Yeah. Spitballing.com. It actually is a very good show. I enjoy watching it. I get mad at Matt quite frequently, but it's okay. Like, I just write it all down and then I send
We're
it.
bad liberals. We
fine.
Really are.
It's fine. You have really good discussions though that need to be had, and I enjoy listening to it. So
thank you.
Thanks for listening, and I'm going to play the outro now. Let's see if that actually happens. Here we go. Bye.
Thanks to all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amy's droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.